You're now tuning into the Who and How Club with your host, Eris Dejan.
All right, we're all good. Okay, so I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a bit nervous at the moment. I can't remember the last time I did a live by myself, but I just felt like being on live tonight and just just talking to the people. And something that inspired me to go on live tonight was something that I did with Michelle, who's like a fellow Who and How Club member. We sort of introduced this concept, Club Talk, a couple weeks ago, where we did an album review for Kalani's new album. It was good until it wasn't, and we had a blast. I had a blast, and I'm sure Michelle did as well. And I'm sure all of you did as well, those who tuned in. So I don't know, I liked the vibe while being on live, and I know that rhymes and it sounds kind of corny, but I felt like I wanted to do these episodes, especially these solo episodes of the Who and How Club podcast on live, so I could connect with those who continue to support the movement and, who want to be a part of the conversation. Because I feel like with episode 25, like the show is only going this way, and I'll share a few things about the show and this movement like that'll prove that. But I want to engage. I want to be more engaged with all of you who continue to support, and just to show you my appreciation and to invite you into this world, into this club, and to have these conversations with me while I'm creating. So that's why I chose to be on live tonight. For those who don't know the show, every other week I have a guest on. So the week in between, it's just a solo episode with myself, and it gets kind of lonely. I've learned to have these conversations sort of by myself and be on the show and just, talk. It has taken some time, and I know I have more work to do, and I could get better at it. But I don't want to feel alone all the time. I feel like being on live, at least, I know you guys are watching, you're a part of the conversation, you're adding to the convo, to the debates, whatever. And we could do this together and go through this awkwardness together. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Who and How Club. It is your boy, Eris Dejan, and you are tuning into the Who and How Club podcast. I am the Who and How Club, you are the Who and How Club, and we are the Who and Hows of the world. Without you, there is no, without you, without me, there is no we. So I don't just do this for me, I do this for you, I do this for us. And this is the show where we talk about who you are and how you became who you are. So this is it. On these solo episodes, it's really just me talking and just bringing things up. And that's sort of like the intro to the show every episode. And how is everyone in live land doing tonight? If you don't mind letting me know what you're up to. I know I got a response. Someone's sipping on some wine tonight. It is Wednesday night. So I don't think a lot of people are out doing a bunch of stuff. Who knows? But let me know how you're doing out there, how your day has been, and maybe I'll share it on the show. I do want to talk about a couple things. I want to get these things sort of out of the way. And I don't want to label them negative things. They're just things that are going on in the world right now that are sort of, it sucks. It sucks that we have to see these things, especially with COVID and what's going on in the world right now. Everyone on not so isolation tip. I mean, people are still, roaming outside and enjoying their lives the best way they can. I guess, they're on a YOLO tip. But even though, the whole world is going through something at the moment, there's still turmoil, even worse than what's going on. And we've had a couple deaths the past few days. And it just sucks. So before we start the show, I just want to say a quick RIP to Houdini, who was a rapper from Toronto who died this week. I've never heard of Houdini. I've heard of Houdini, but I've never listened to his music. And after this episode, I plan on listening to some tunes, and just researching more on him and where he's from in the city. And I think I read somewhere that he grew up in Brampton. So it really sucks that we've lost another artist. And it just seems like I feel like I'm just losing track of the amount of artists that we're just losing. They're just dropping like flies. And shout out to the family and everybody just going through it right now. Loss is we could only imagine what the family and everyone who loves that person are going through. So let's send some special energy, special shout outs to those people who have lost somebody this week. Houdini being one of them who we've lost, and we plan to shout him out a bit more on the show, and we'll do some research and bump some of his tunes just in memory of him. Of course, aside from Houdini, the other big news is this George Floyd situation and what happened in Minnesota, which is a crazy situation. Every time we feel like, maybe we've gotten away from it or we're getting better, something like this happens and it just pulls us 10 steps back. And it's really hard to watch the footage of, when these things happen. It's hard to just sit at your computer or look at your phone, and sometimes you don't even believe what you're seeing. But it's like a double-edged sword, because you're happy that the world can see what is going on and be a part of the discussion and be a part of, just to be able to have an opinion on what's going on and to look at something and realize, what, that's wrong. And you could call these individuals out, people who are just making really bad decisions and putting other people's lives at risk and murdering people right in front of our eyes. And it's sad. It's very sad. And again, we want to, here at the Who and How Club, we want to just send some special love and special energy out to those individuals, the family of George Floyd. And I think I saw a video of his twin brother sort of like, talking to the people and expressing how he feels about the situation. Obviously the family, they're going through it right now as well. I know that the 4 officers have been fired, which is good. I just don't know if they've been they've been fired. So I think the next step is for them to be tried for murder, and we don't know if that's going to happen or not. I was also reading or looking up some footage that got released, some footage right before the death occurred, because I think the officers had stated that George was refusing arrest, and he was like giving them a hassle and everything like that. But when you watch the footage that was released, it shows that he wasn't resisting arrest whatsoever. So for this to happen in 2020 and we're still going through it, it's just crazy. So let's just send a special shout out and give a moment of silence for people who lost somebody this week or who are no longer with us, because it's not just George Floyd, it's not just Houdini. There are people dying every day, especially from this coronavirus. So if you want to join me in just like a little moment of silence, club members, and we'll honor those who have passed away this week especially. I pray that things get better. We have to pray. We have to keep praying. We have to keep hoping that, just things go up and things don't turn for the worse. Like, we just have to just keep pushing for our survival. We could only imagine what these people are going through when situations like this occurs. And this could be anybody, right? This could be your brother, your sister, someone who It could happen down the street. We have death in America. You know, you look at things like this and you're like, only in the States, but, you know, it's happening here in Toronto as well. So let's just do our best to stay positive, especially we're finally getting some beautiful weather. And they say when it's hot out, it gets hot. But let's just stop the violence, stop the killing. Just, you know, approach everything with love and with the spirit. Stay positive. Support your brother, support your sister. And let's keep living. Aside from that, I want to send a special birthday shout out to Tori. She's 25 today. She's one of my friends from Buffalo. She's over there having some fun with her friends. And she actually hollered at me. She called me. And we got a chance to touch base. And yeah, she's over in Buffalo. We can't see each other because the border situation and everything like that. But I'm sure we'll be able to connect in person very soon. So shout out to Tori. She's 25 today and she's happy. She's happy. So I promised her I'd give her a little shout out. Yeah, so welcome to the club. If it's your first time joining in, you know, this is the Who and How Club. And yeah, I'm your host, Eris Dejan. So just a few things, you know, this episode is sort of like a little update. I want to touch base with everyone on what I have going on and yeah, just give you some updates on that. Hold on one second here. So, for those who don't know, I have a new single out. It's called 2019 Flow, which has been released. It's on every streaming platform you could think of. And, you know, it was just something that I released I had it in the vault. You know, it was just something that I had sitting there. I had recorded it last year. And I wanted to release it and just because I'm coming with a lot of new material and I kind of wanted to get rid of, you know, whatever I had just stashed. But I also felt like with 2020, like there are all these memes going around and stuff like that of, you know, what 2020 is starting to look like and it's not what people expected it to be. I kind of wanted to bring a 2019 vibe into 2020 and just, you know, remind people like where we were at and stuff like that last year. I am positive. I am optimistic that things will get better this year. And it's all about the mind and the heart and how we you know, adjust our attitude to the whole situation and what we're going through. And we got to look up. So anyway, I released this 2019 Flow. And this past weekend, I shot the music video for it with Manolo, shot by Third Eye. That's the director's name. If you want to look him up on my IG and follow him, he's a really dope director. He's really cool with just like, you know, free flowing and just going with the vibe. He has a dope perspective as well. Him and I have known each other for a while, but we haven't had a chance to actually work with each other. So we finally got this chance to work with each other, and it was if I were to rate the experience out of 5, I would say, you know, 4.5, just because I like to leave room for improvement. But no, it was, you know, you never know if it's a fluke or not, but I do feel like the vibe was just dope. The energy was great. Him and I worked really well together. We had Kay on the shoot as well, who's a collaborator and friend of mine, and my boy Dante, he was on set as well. So that video is coming out soon, and yeah, it was just really a dope weekend. We had like a real early shoot to catch the sunrise, and I'm really excited for all of you to, you know, see those visuals. You've heard the song already. You'll get to see the visuals, and it's just something that'll lead up to what I'm creating and what I have coming very soon. So yeah, shout out to everybody who continues to support not only the podcast, not only the Who and How Club, but also my other artistic endeavors as well. Whether it's music, modeling, poetry, etc. I appreciate it, especially in my career, being a social service worker. You know, all the support is appreciated, and I appreciate all of you. Something I need to promote as well. I wrote an article for Preferred Magazine, which is sort of like a high-end men's magazine. And I wrote an article entitled Grow Before You Go. So I'm going to start promoting that because it's been out for a couple weeks now and I just haven't even shared it. But I want all of you, if you get a if you have the opportunity If you want to look it up on your phones, or if you're at your laptop right now, just Google Preferred Magazine and you'll see the article that I wrote, Grow Before You Go. I don't want to give you too much from the article, but it's really just something that I wrote about, just speaking from the perspective of, focusing on growing before you. Let's use relationships for an example. Like, before getting into any type of relationship, especially an intimate one, I feel like you kind of have to work on yourself, especially if you're a person that has been in relationships before, and maybe you're that type of person that goes from relationship to relationship and you haven't had enough time to yourself to kind of reflect and improve on yourself, to grow. You got to grow before you go. And that's sort of what the article focuses on. So go to Preferred Magazine, just Google it, it'll pop up and you'll get to see the article that I wrote, Grow Before You Go. And feel free to have a read, leave a comment, or message me. Let me know what you think about the article and that perspective that I wrote from, and we could maybe debate it. I'd be down for that if you're down. I touched on new music, so go listen to 2019 Flow on all streaming platforms. Music videos coming out. We got the article on Preferred Magazine. What else? This is the logo, ladies and gentlemen, for those who don't know. What do you think this logo is? What do you think this symbol is? Tell me what you think, because I get very unique answers from different people. A lot of people don't know what it is. I don't know if I've said it on the show before, but if you see this logo, this is the Who and How Club logo that I created. So let me know what you think it is. I'd love to hear your thoughts and what you see when you see this symbol here. For those who won't get a chance to join in on live and will just be hearing the audio to this episode, I am on live right now. So if I'm talking a bit different from the past episodes and stuff like that, it's just because I'm actually talking to somebody today. I see the people joining in and listening, and so it is a bit awkward, but I'm rolling with the punches. And sorry if the mic is blocking my face, but yeah. Some other good news, Who and How Club related. So I got an email this week from TO Webfest, and it pretty much stated that the Who and How Club has been chosen, or selected is the term that they use, for TO Webfest, which is a web festival, for, online creators, people who, create independent creators who, have their own web series, podcasts, whatever, you name it, different categories, drama, sci-fi, etc. But the Who and How Club, we've been selected. So that's some good news. I don't know what else to say. This episode will be called The Update. I've had an episode called The Update before. This will be The Update Part 2. Because I'm just trying to share with all of you on, what I have going on, because, I guess that's just what we do. So shout out to TO Webfest, shout out to Divya over there, and the independent creators of Canada, which I'm also a member of. They've selected the Who and How Club for the festival, and I'm assuming, I don't know fully what that means. I'm assuming we're going to be nominated, or I really don't know. So just to see our name on the list of selections for the podcast category, I think we're 1 out of 11. So there were 11 shows in total chosen, and we're 1 out of the 11 selected. That's the term they use again. So I'm assuming either we're going to be nominated or, I don't know, showcased in some form or fashion. I don't know. We're only 25 episodes in, and I just want to remind you of that. Not to gloat, not to, big up ourselves or anything like that, but hard work pays off. And I really want you all to understand that when you have a vision, I'm going to cry right now just thinking about it. Only 25 episodes in, I've had the opportunity this year to present at PodCamp. PodCamp was the thing that started the Who and How Club. Without the Who and How Club, without PodCamp, the Who and How Club probably wouldn't be here, because it was me going to that conference that inspired me. And, fast forward to this year, I got a chance to facilitate my own session and talk to other creators and spearhead that. And they gave me that opportunity. Now TO Webfest has selected the show for the festival this year. And I'm like, we're only 25 episodes in. I'm not upset at that. I'm just so appreciative of that. And that means that I'm doing something right. That means that they see what I've been creating and what we've been creating as a community, as a movement. And this is quality, this concept, it's working. And people are benefiting from it, and we're going to be celebrated for that. And I think that if you have an idea right now, even listening to me, watching me, any idea that you have in your mind, I want you, sleep the rest of the night off. That's fine. Take this night off. But tomorrow when you wake up, I want you to pursue that idea. If it's an idea that you've been wanting to bring to the light, to life, to reality for like the longest while, do what I did and do what you have to do to make it your reality. Don't just keep it in here. What good is an idea if it can't be shared, if it can't come to life, if you can't, share it with other people? You do things to inspire others. You get inspired already, you inspire yourself. You're like, your brain is going. You're thinking of ideas. You have these creative ideas. Why not bring it to life? And then possibly inspire someone else to create and bring their ideas to life. Keep the cycle going. Don't just keep it in here and keep it in here. It's just a waste. And trust me, I'm living proof that if you just keep going at it and you believe in yourself and you don't let anything stop you, you'll see the benefits of that. So, yeah, make your dreams come true, man. Make your thoughts come true. You could do it. You have the resources. We have the resources. You can make it happen somehow, some way. And if you don't be afraid to ask for help. Reach out to somebody that that could support you and help you. You know what I mean? Another thing with the Who and How Club, we have our own residency at the Blue Moon Lounge downtown Toronto, and we were doing these bi-weekly events called Rampage. And Rampage was another sort of like idea that came to mind where, I've always been into creative writing and just expressing myself through writing and poetry and all that jazz and storytelling, So I created this space, and obviously, Rampage, as it was growing, we had to stop because of COVID. But I just wanted to share that because that's just another idea that came out, and I connected it to the Who and How Club. And I hope that, if you're a new listener, new viewer, whoever, when Rampage comes back, I want you all to just come out and see what it's about and get inspired and to be around other creatives, because that's the goal here with the club. So, yeah. If there's anything that I'm saying that resonates with you, feel free to let me know. Leave a comment in this live session. I don't want to, ramble on. This is still kind of awkward for me, but I'm happy to be here with all of you. And I hope what I'm saying makes sense. And again, thank you all for the support, because without you, without God, without my beliefs, my belief in myself, we probably wouldn't be here having this discussion. So we spoke about the turmoil. We spoke about the birthday shout outs. We spoke about some good news. I think that another reminder that I wanna give for today. Something today happened at work, actually. I want to share a little bit about work. I had a conversation with one of the clients that I work with. He expressed that he was, him and I just had a one-on-one. And through that one-on-one conversation, I found out that he was going through something very similar to what I was going through, and him and I were able to connect on that. And the conversation about God came up as well. And, we just started sharing thoughts and perspectives on our beliefs and thoughts on relationships and what what keep going really looks like to him and me, and how we could, how our beliefs in like a higher power have helped us to keep going and to keep living, and to not give up, and to make room for new and all that jazz, And he brought it was like a rampage session, literally, like at work. Like, he just looked at me and he's like, yo, why don't we write a letter? Why don't we write a letter to God and express ourselves? Because he had expressed to me that, he was finding it a bit hard to express himself as of late. He wasn't sure how to, get certain things that he was feeling or thinking about outward. He wasn't really speaking about things that he was going through. He wasn't dealing with his emotions. So he's like, you know what, why don't we write? And he's never known me to be a writer, or he doesn't know me as an artist. He doesn't know that I create. He doesn't know that I have a podcast, Rampage. He doesn't know that I'm a rapper. He just looked at me and he's like, yo, why don't we write? Why don't we write a letter to God and put our true thoughts and feelings on paper? And I looked at him and I said, you know what, let's do it. I went to get some paper and some pens, and him and I just sat down. And we just wrote for like half an hour. And then we both shared each other's letters. But the reminder for today is just that, like, and I think I want to share my letter with all of you. I don't know if it's appropriate to do that. I don't even want to bore any of you with this, but I don't know. I'm feeling kind of deep tonight. So I want to share this. I want to be open. I invite guests on the show. I expect them to be open with me. So I want to be open with all of you. But for the reminder of the day, if I were to give you any, it's just to remind yourselves that, we're all going through something. And it might not be the exact same thing, but I guarantee you're going to find or come across someone that has gone through something similar to what you've gone through or might go through in the future. And we have to create a space to actually just have the conversation and to, find a way to support one another, because we don't have to go through these things that we're going through by ourselves. We think we do. We think we got to walk around with this anger, this chip on our shoulder, this heat inside of us, because we're keeping things in. We're not asking for support. We're not just taking a chance to talk to someone because we're afraid of being judged. We're afraid of letting someone down or looking weak or whatever. But when you just take a moment to speak with someone and you realize how much you could connect with that person, whether it's off of some negative experience or positive, it's still a connection at the end of the day, and none of that takes away from that. So why not, just connect, just create, just leave that space to just speak, to communicate, and to find ways to relate to other people and cherish those moments. You know what I mean? Like, you can't that's not a moment to just throw away. And today's moment between the client and myself at work, I cherish that moment. That moment of openness and vulnerability, especially, coming from another man. The stigmas around that, men can't be vulnerable, or they look weak when they are, and men don't cry and all that other bullshit. 'Cause I cry. I have no fear in crying. I need to cry sometimes to let things out, I think crying is healthy. So yeah, I don't know if I should share my letter, but that's my reminder of the day. To, just remember just remember that we're all going through something. So let's support one another through that and try our best to, be there for each other as people, man and woman, child, whoever. Just let's be there for one another. Let's focus on that more. All right, I will read the letter. I will read it. This was my letter. But before I go to that or get into that, I want to send a special shout out to another podcast that exists out there, For the Night Owls. I mentioned them a bit earlier when we first got on this live in this episode. For the Night Owls is hosted by Kay and Akil, brother and sister duo, team up to bring you late night thoughts. As kids, their summer nights were spent playing video games and having late night conversations. Now these two night owls discuss topics such as conspiracies, being creatives, moving through life, astrology, etc. Of course, because of the title, you can expect this show to be on really late at night because it's strictly for the night owls. I've been listening to them, and I'll be supporting them because they support me, but also because it's actually a dope show, and it's cool to see brother and sister collaborate as creatives, and that always inspires me. So I've watched a few of their episodes. I think their third episode's coming out this week. So look up For the Night Owls. If you go to Who How Club, like on our Instagram, you could actually find For the Night Owls, or just look them up on my page as well. And yeah, you'll be able to find out how you can listen to them everywhere. But I'm listening to them. That I'm adding For the Night Owls to my podcast list. A few episodes back, you would know what my favorite podcasts are and which ones I listen to. So For the Night Owls will be added to that. I think we're working on doing like a crossover episode very soon as well, for me to be on their episode and them on mine. So shout out to For the Night Owls. Shout out to all the podcasts out there and all the Toronto creatives creating shows like this and like that one. So yeah. All right. So before I go, where are we at right now? All right, we're 30 minutes in. How's everyone doing? Those who are listening and watching this, how's everyone doing? Talk to me. Does anyone want to join in on the conversation? Who's bold enough to come in on the convo? If there's anyone that wants to join the conversation, who wants to call in, let me know. Because I'm going to end the episode off with this letter. And it's going to be one of those things where, I just got to read it and then we get out of here. So before we do that, I want to see or create a space, provide a space for anybody that might want to call in or ask a question for the Ask the Club segment that we usually do. Usually we do this with a guest, but since all of you are on live, you guys could ask me anything and I'll give you an answer if you're down. So let me know as I take a sip of water. If you have any questions, ask me anything. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything on the show. I have my iPad here, so I usually have all my podcast notes and everything here. Episode 25. Usually the 25th episode is like a milestone, I guess, or is it the 50th? I think we'll do like a big celebration on the 50th episode, and we'll see where we are at as a movement, as a podcast, as a blog, as an event series. I never thought that I'd get to 25 episodes now. So another 25 is very hard to imagine, but we're going to get there and we're going to keep it going. Does anyone have any questions for me? For the Who and How Club? Ask me anything. I'll give you an answer. Or anything you guys want to pose to the people who are listening in or viewing this episode. I'll give you a few seconds. Let me read through the comments quick, see if I've missed anything here. Thank you, Heidi, Miss Levine. Miss Levine's, she's a teacher of mine, or was my teacher back in high school, someone that I love dearly, I hold close to my heart. She has definitely guided me and helped mold me and this person that you see here today. Lots of deep conversations. I think I know how to communicate the way that I communicate. I've learned that from her. I've seen her, the way she speaks to people, and she can really get to you, and she knows how to turn a hard person soft, and get to you through here. And with her smile. So last time I saw her, I think, was at my event back in January, which was the Who Are You Part 2 Who and How Club event. So Miss you, Heidi, but I still call you Miss Levine. You're still my teacher because I still learn things from you every time we talk. So shout out to you, love you. She gave me some congrats on here. What else? Okay, we have a question here. What's good, Bugman? All right, what does power mean to you? This was asked by Nicole, one of our fellow Who and How Club members and Rampage members as well. Shout out to Nicole, baby girl. She asked the club, what does power mean to you? I'm going to pose that question to all of you as well. So what does power mean to you? I know you meant big man, not bug man. This guy kills me. But yeah, I'm going to also ask that question to all of you. Like, what does power mean to you? For me, power means responsibility. As corny as that sounds, with great power comes great responsibility. That was the best. That's like the best, kind of quote that exists out there. I think that with power does come great responsibility, and you got to use your power wisely. I think we all have power. We just need to sort of acknowledge it and know how to use our power. I believe that we all have powers as well, whether they be, in the form of our, how we use our brains and our creativity and our bodies even, I think that, in some moments power also means control. And I think that I know that I'm powerful. I know that I have powers and I am a powerful being. But some people abuse their power, and I think those who recognize that they have power should spend more time figuring out how to use their power more wisely and to not use it at the detriment of others, in that controlling way or in that negative way. I think power is just something that we all have inside of us, and that comes from like a higher power especially, but we need to be able to connect with that. And I don't think a lot of people are connecting with that, especially nowadays. We're so disconnected from our powers and our true power. We don't know how to define it. We don't even know that we have power, but we are strong beings, and we have the ability to be stronger than we think. You know what I mean? And it doesn't just come from like working out and the physique and all of that. It doesn't just come from, there are many things that you could sort of obtain power from, knowledge especially. So, yeah, that's what I guess power. I don't know if I answered that right. I don't necessarily have a direct answer, but those are the things that come to my mind when I think of power. But what does power mean to you? Anyone out there watching or listening? What does power mean to you? Follow-up question from Nicole is, why do you think some people find it hard to find their power? I can't speak for everyone, of course, but I think that going back to what I said, like a lot of people don't even know or believe that they have power. Let's say powers, for an example. We all have abilities to do something with our lives, to do something with our lives, to provide something, to give back, to this thing that we're in, this life. But a lot of people don't acknowledge that. A lot of people don't feel like they have anything to offer. So they might not know what true power is. Maybe they weren't raised on that sort of concept, that they are powerful beings and that they have power and they need to know how to use it wisely and all that jazz. Some people might not even know what that means. For some people, power just means looking like Luke Cage and punching a wall, punching a hole through the wall or whatever. So I don't know. I think a lot of people are pretty distracted as well. And I think society has helped with making us feel like we're less powerful than we truly are. And the schools don't help us define things like this, what power means, what kind of power we actually have. How do we, the true power of who we are as people and ourselves. Like, we have so much in us that we can offer this world, but we don't get chances to explore that. It's something that we have to either be raised with or raised on, or we have to find it in ourselves and actually want to find it in ourselves. Some people don't. Some people are cool with just living day to day, and they're a part of this cycle. I call them the robots. And it's not to diss anybody. It's just how I view that. I think without the robots, we wouldn't know how to be us people who are connected or, focused on these types of things. Without the robots, we wouldn't know, and without us, they wouldn't exist either. So we all need each other. But yeah, I don't know. Most people, someone in the chat said that most people think that by having money, it gives them power. It's crazy. I think money does give you power, but that sucks. It sucks that money does provide some sort of power. And that's just a bigger system that we're a part of. Just the concept of money in itself is a conversation in itself. And it sucks that money does give some people power in certain situations. Someone said, everyone feels the need to conform due to constraints formed on social media and certain ideology. Sense of individuality is not encouraged. That is very true. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I have no debates on that or no arguments against that. It's very true. Very true. I think I say this in 2019 flow, like, before you lead, you got to know how to follow. The problem is a lot of people remain followers and they never get out of that following stage and become leaders. So this idea of conforming, it's just like people want to feel like they belong to something. They don't want to be ostracized. They don't want to be alone. They don't want to be singled out. They don't want to be the person who thinks differently. Even if they are the one who thinks differently, they'll never share that. So they want to feel like they belong. They want to be a part of something, even if that something is detriment to, the bigger scale in this world that we live in society, etc. So it sucks that people feel like they have to conform. We all have, we all are individuals and we have our own personalities and stuff like that. But we have to take the time to explore all of those things on who we are as people. Who am I? Who is Eris? What sets me apart from the next 10 people who are sitting right next to me? You know what I mean? Like, if I don't take the time to explore that or acknowledge that, I'm just going to jump the bandwagon and be with whatever those people are or whatever I see, whatever as soon as I see something that, I can relate to, I'll just jump with that and be a part of that group or that way of thinking, let's say, or whatever, instead of really just being over here and figuring out who I am as a person and facing some fears and thinking differently from the herd. Nothing's wrong with that. It's okay to think differently. People might not agree with you on how you think, especially if it's different from what they think, but don't just think like them just so you don't feel, like you're the only one. It's okay to be the only one. I think being the only one is a good thing, actually. But yeah, hopefully I'm not rambling. I'm like really tired tonight on this episode 25. I'm really excited for another 25 episodes. We're going to really party it up on episode 50. I hope everything I've said tonight makes sense. Even though I see people in the chat and in the live session, it still feels like I'm talking to myself. So I'm in the zone, but I'm really happy to be here with all of you. Episode 25 of the Who and How Club podcast. It is your boy Eris Dejan. If you're just joining in, we're going to end off the episode with a letter that I wrote to God today. And I did this with a colleague of mine, a client of mine, I guess, a person, another human being. Forget the titles. It doesn't matter. He was an individual who opened himself up to me, and he shared his experiences with me, and I shared with him, and we had a writing session together. So yeah, we got 1 minute and 56 seconds. Let me read this. All right. Dear God, I apologize if I haven't carried out your duties the way you have expected me to. I think that with everything that I've been through, I've been distracted. I've distracted myself with so much anger, self-inflicted pain, fear, disappointment, lies, behaviors that are out of character. I pray and hope that you can forgive and continue to be in my life more now than ever. I truly need you, but I also want you in my life. I get my focus from you, my drive, my passion, my powers even. I love my life because of you. I breathe because of you. I just want to know that I'm doing things right down here. Give me a sign. Give me the power and strength to proceed, to continue. You know that I want to be here. I know that I'm pure, that I am joy, and that I'm able to spread joy wherever I go. Love is the only thing that I want in my life. Love, joy, and you. I'm writing this to get the feelings that I've been feeling off of my chest, because it's the only way I know how to. At the moment, I want to do more and talk less. I want to inspire others through my work, my art, my creations, my energy, my perspectives, my story, my truth, but I know I can't do any of that without you. I thank you for all that I've had, all that I have, and all that I will have. I think time's going to run out. I ask that you watch over my family, my friends, my enemies, my ventures, my creativity. It isn't only me, but the world that needs you more now than ever. In your name, I release and let go. I let go and let God. Who I was is not who I am. And Yeah, sorry guys. I didn't get a chance to finish the letter. So Instagram Live cut off abruptly. But if you go and listen to the episode, what I'll do is you'll just hear the whole letter in the episode. I think that's better anyway. I try to be quick. The glasses weren't even on properly, and I couldn't even read my own writing because I just jotted everything down so quickly. But either way, I appreciate you guys allowing me the opportunity to be vulnerable and to share pieces of that. The letter's not finished. I didn't get to finish reading it. Sorry. It's finished. The written component is finished, but I didn't get a chance to finish it for all of you. So when the actual episode comes out, you'll get to hear me reading it. And then, yeah, I'll probably just do a proper recording of it, read it, and add it into the show. And then when the episode is released tonight or tomorrow morning, you'll get to hear it back. And hopefully it inspires somebody. Also, what is going on with Instagram? Like, can I not save my live videos in my story anymore? Have I been gone so long that I can't? Because when a live video used to end, you could just share it. And now I can't share it. It just goes straight to IGTV, and I hate IGTV. So am I missing something? Am I not saving it properly, guys? Let me know. Either way, this has been a day of updates, vulnerability, honesty, openness, and facing some fears. So this is episode 25 of the Who and How Club podcast. I hope you all just stay safe. Continue to stay safe. Protect yourselves in the best way possible, whatever works for you. I'm not going to say stay inside just because the government is saying that or whoever. Do whatever makes you feel right, but just take the proper precautions, you know what I mean? And just stay positive, support your people, your family, your friends, and, don't waste your time on things that just don't mean anything. Like I mentioned to you earlier, if you have an idea in your brain, in your heart that you want to bring to life, sleep on it tonight, wake up tomorrow, ask yourself, do I still want to pursue this? Do I want to bring this idea to life? And if the answer is yes, then I want you to just focus on that and work towards that. Don't go on Instagram all day and post things and be on live and all this stuff. Don't waste your time. Actually pursue something. Go write that song. Go call your friend, that friend that you might have an idea for both of you, that you see, you and that person doing something really dope, like a podcast. Call your sister. Use your resources. Use your family. Create something dope. and share it with the world so that you can inspire somebody else to do the same thing. With that said, I'm going to sign the hell off because I just don't like Instagram. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Am I crazy? Wasn't there a time that when you went on live, when the video was done, or when the live session was over, I think it's about an hour, it asked you to share it in your story? It doesn't do that anymore. So what am I missing? Or am I doing something wrong? Maybe I'm going overboard with the timing, and it just forces it to go to IGTV. Because I know that my last 2 lives have been really long, so maybe that's what's going on. But I'm going to end this session off now. And let's see if it gives me some other options, since this is like sort of like a quick end off. Once again, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You are the Who and How Club. I am the Who and How Club. We are the Who and How Club. And with that said, without you, without me, there is no we. And I do this for us, not just me. So you've been listening to the Who and How Club. It's your boy, Eris Dejan. And episode 25 is in the bank. I hope to see you all very soon in person, whether it's at a Rampage event, at a festival, at a conference or something where I'm speaking again, or accepting some sort of award. I don't know. I just want to see all of you very soon. So hope to see you in some sort of creative space so that we could connect and talk. And if you're interested in being on the show, send me a DM. Don't be shy. Just holler at me and we'll set something up. All right. Love you guys. Be safe. Stay strong. Support your people. Support yourself. Center yourself. Get focused. Pursue some shit. And let's create. 1.